live here at the Life in HD podcast, man. As always, I got my brother, the development doctor, in the building. What's going on, Jay Lee?
Man, feeling amazing. It's peace and blessings. Starting this new year off right. It's the first episode.
Yes,
I
Lord.
just came out my world tour, so
Right.
Literally.
yeah, I'm like, let's get back into the weeds.
Bruh, Jay Lee so lit, bro. Like, and this my baby brother, bro. Like, so I get to, you know what I'm saying, be right here having the first person view of everything that he got going on, bro. Like, shout out my brother Aristotle too, man. Y'all boys, y'all different, bro. Y'all
He's
different.
still in Amsterdam.
I know.
I was
That's
about to fly
crazy.
back.
I know. So it's like, man, y'all did, like, you was originally just gonna do like a 7-leg trip in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Dubai?
So-
that's a whole nother continent, dude.
We did New Year's in Paris.
Yeah.
It was cold. Then we went to London. It was a little less cold. Then we went to Milan, Italy. It was freezing. So then the plan was we was gonna go from there to Barcelona, and I was meeting Aristotle out there.
Yeah, because Aristotle was already in, he was already.
Abizu.
Yeah. I was about
Abizu,
to
however
say-
you say it. He was there. So the plan was we was gonna meet in Spain essentially and just chill there and then go from Spain to Amsterdam. But then day 3 in the trip, he like, I'm out here, it's cold.
It's too cold.
I'm like, it's cold too. It just didn't make sense. Like, people was getting sick, so it was like, man, let's figure something else out. He was like, well, let's go to Dubai. I said, bro, that's 8 hours further. Like,
Meanwhile, it's freezing in
Bro.
America. Like,
Yes.
the whole America, it was cold. Like, I was in
Yeah.
Chicago. Chicago was
cold,
like
bro.
almost negative
And Atlanta
wind
has
conditions.
snow.
Atlanta had snow.
Yo.
So we were just like, you serious? You want to go 8 hours further? He like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, you know what? I want to go to Dubai anyway. Let's go. So we looked. It was good. We flew to Dubai. Like, best decision. I want to go back already. Like, I would move to
Really?
Dubai. Yeah.
What was your favorite
You
part?
would move to Dubai.
I would move to Dubai.
That's
Really?
crazy.
Dubai is the safest place in the world. Everybody's luxury, super respectful. They don't have any taxes in Dubai. And if you live there for 6 months and a day out the year as American, you pay no taxes on anything in America.
What?
Yeah.
That's lit.
So it's cheap too. Like, to us, it's, cheap. Like, you get around for $5, $6, and that's Uber XL, like Uber Black. They only have black trucks and Mercedes and Lexus and Toyota. I mean, not Toyota, like Teslas. But it's super cool. Everybody's nice. It just shows you a different way of life. Like, what they got going on here, you can't do. You can't smoke weed. You can't raise your voice. You really can't you cannot really have all that public affection and stuff. So when you have that level of control, you can just chill. Like, I don't gotta. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Nobody has a gun. Nobody has anything. Everybody has money though.
That's crazy.
Everybody got money.
That's
Is
hard
it-
to think about.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a different like mindset, you know what I'm saying? And a different culture too, you know what I'm saying? I love America.
I don't know. I think I'm indifferent with it, but
I was just in Magic City last night at the Jocelyn's Cabaret. You get what I'm saying? So it's a different culture, different experience. You get what I'm saying?
We
New
live
Orleans
two
for
total
real.
different lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's New Orleans for real.
me and you
He got
more
a
like
party.
we sleep at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
he
man,
probably getting home
the
at 8 o'clock.
atmosphere last night at Magic City was like amazing, bro. It was just like the build up. First of all, I'm a big fan of Jocelyn's Cabaret and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been watching that for a long time. And shout out to my dude Ricardo, man. You already know what time it is. That's been my friend for like 10 years, but he been Jocelyn's choreographer for like 20 years. You get what I'm saying? So it's like just seeing the journey and the build up of like that success level, and then not only the amount of people that pulled up to the event was crazy, bro. Like, if you know about Magic City is really not that big, but it's like everybody was in there. Like
Like who?
Everybody was
Like
in
who?
there. Like all her fans and stuff. Like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Was
lot of
any
people
other
was in the
celebrities
building.
there?
Yeah, they had celebrities in the building. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. Of
I
course they had
seen
celebs.
PB had Herbo and Young Miami at the club last night.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the atmosphere at Magic City, bro. It was so many people. The fire marshals pulled up. The fire alarm was going off. People was fighting because they really didn't have that much space for people to be around, right? And then Shawty came on stage. Jocelyn came on stage, like with all her people, like the cabaret, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was amazing, bro. It was just a fire atmosphere, dog. But it's just like that. The culture experiences is just different. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily say I would move to Dubai, but I'd go out there and visit for sure.
I don't think you could do it. I said one rule: 25 years if you smoke weed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm straight on that. I ain't really worried about that too much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
But you already know, man. We also got KC in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
What's going on?
How you feeling?
I can't complain. I'm feeling
me
good.
neither.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having me.
yes,
appreciate
I'm
you for
excited
taking
to
time.
have you. I'm like, after our live, it just was so good energy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were like asking questions. I know you the tax sale guru. You the small town investment guru.
Yeah.
Tax deed guru.
Yeah, she know. And now GC to
Yes,
GC.
I am a real estate investor, as you know, real estate coach. But I'm also the youngest female commercial GC in South Carolina.
Let's see
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
Say that one more
Yeah.
time.
Yes, the youngest female commercial general contractor in South Carolina.
That's lit, man. Big flowers and kudos to you for
Thank
that.
you.
Like, that's amazing because in this space that we work in, not only is it dominated by white men,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, to be a female and come into this space is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And we need more of it, right? We need more black females to come in and boss up, take over the game. So tell me something like what's some of your inspiration that actually pushed you towards like wanting to jump into the real estate market or jump into general contracting?
Well, I bought half a block down in Middle Georgia a few years back, and I was in such like a investor mindset. I was like, oh, I just pay other people to do it. But me, I guess I kind of had like a lazy spirit with it because I'm like, oh, they'll take care of it, whatever scenario is. But then you have a person not doing their job, and me, especially starting in, I really didn't know what was going on. So then I had to step in and kind of figure things out, and I didn't have anybody to go to for real. I had to like figure it out myself. Made $250,000 mistake my first year. A lot of people can't bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you said,
facts.
oh my goodness, literally. And
You say you made a $250,000 mistake?
yeah.
What was that?
No, multiple mistakes just piling
Oh,
up.
they piled up and
the
they
bills just piling
ended up to be
yeah.
Damn.
Trying to get the right people in and making sure things are done right. Because job was supposed to be 80% done, plumbing wasn't done correctly, and it's on a slab. Everything had to be pulled. So I'm like, dang. So it was like one thing after another. And one of the guys that was at the project, he was like, yeah, you should just become a GC. I was just like, ew, no. I was like, disgusting, no. And so then that's when I went through the project, and I was basically almost turned into like my own GC. I actually had a GC come pull the permits and stuff like that, but he was doing me a favor because he still had other projects he was in the midst of doing it. So I had to figure it out myself. And that's when LP introduced me to Jay Lee. And he was just like, yeah, you should really do it. It's great. We did X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. So I was like, all right. But then I was just like, all right, I'm going to get my license next year. Hold me to it. And he was like, all right, then. And then that's when I started looking up my all the requirements for Georgia. I said, oh, fudge. I said, I said,
Told you, it's crazy. Told you. 6 months.
No, literally. And I just remember you telling me how you had to like really lock in on an X, Y, and Z. So I was just like, I didn't know what that entailed. But then last year around this time, God told me to move to South Carolina. Had no clue, and I wasn't even sure that was really him talking to me. And by the time March came around, he confirmed. He's like, no, go to South Carolina. So by April 19th, so probably like 3-4 weeks later, I'm in South Carolina. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just here for real. And then I met another investor. He's like our age and everything else like that. And he was in the midst of getting his GC license. And I had bought a duplex out there, super cheap, like $20,000. Like right there by Allen, USC, like all that crazy.
20,000 for
Yeah.
a duplex?
Yeah.
That's lit.
And so then that's when one of the ladies I was getting a quote from, she was a GC, a commercial general contractor. And I was just like, yeah, so like, what was your experience like, stuff like that? And she kind of like, I forgot what she said, but something that she said, I was just like, yeah, I can do it. And that's when I started studying with one of my friends that he was getting his GC license. We started studying together. And that's when I started studying by myself, and I locked in for 2 months. When I say locked in, like I purposely stopped everything. Like I wasn't even making no money. I was serious about getting a GC license. All of a sudden, I don't know what it was, but a light bulb switched off. And I came in, came out. I actually failed the first time. I failed the first time, and I was so upset. I literally cried that next morning. It didn't hit me until that next morning. I woke up. I said, "Mom, I actually failed. What? I put all this time into it, locked in. I didn't go out, nothing, like crazy." And then I rescheduled it immediately for that Thursday. So I failed it Monday, rescheduled for Thursday. I said, "I don't care what it is. I'm gonna pass it the second time."
Yeah.
I walked in, and the lady said, "Oh, you're back." I said, "Yeah, but it's your last time seeing me." And I was just in my head, I was like, I better pass because that's embarrassing.
Right.
That's embarrassing. And then that's when the lady was like, push your right hand up. And let me tell you, them ladies over at PSI testing, they have better security than TSA. I'm telling you, they have you lift up your sleeves, do all this type of stuff. And she's like, push your left hand up, push your right hand up. And she's like, and then move it. I said, well, I passed? She said, yeah. I was like, oh. I was so excited. And I was just like, dang. And then it wasn't until that next morning. At that point, I still really didn't know why I had a GC license. I'm just like going with the motions, trusting God. And that's when like God revealed to me. He was like, no, it's way bigger than you. He's just like, you're going to employ like thousands of men. Like you're going to rebuild so many families. And I'm like, I started crying somewhere. I was like, dang, that was deep. I wasn't expecting that one.
Real talk.
And so now we're 30 days into license and we're looking at getting these big contracts. So yeah.
That's dope. I think, I told you, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so, so proud, because I know what goes into that test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know the heartache and go in the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had to get 2 licenses because in Georgia, it's 4 different types of licenses.
I didn't know that
And
either.
you can't upgrade. It's not like you can just upgrade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You start off, here in Georgia, it's residential basic, which you can only do residential. Residential light commercial, which is like interior renovations on commercial, up to 500,000. Then you have general restricted, which is up to $1 million. Then general unlimited. The problem is the four tests. It's 4 different licenses, 4 different tests. None of them are the same. So you can't just go from residential basic to light commercial or light commercial to restricted GC.
You gotta go up.
You have to literally take each test. So I went from residential basic to unlimited. And because of the jump in a 2-year span, the state gave me a really hard time with it, and they couldn't understand why I needed an unlimited. Because also, like you in South Carolina, I'm the youngest here in Georgia, really, to have this license with the unlimited capability in the Southeast region. Like, it's hard to get unlimited, and they do that because if I can limit you to $1 million on commercial work, that ain't no money.
Right.
You would never do a new construction commercial for $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fact.
You really can't go after the big aggressive contracts,
The government contracts,
the government
federal
contracts, the street contracts, the schools contracts. Like, you'll be able to get some of them. Like, you'll be doing patchwork, but you would never be a prime contractor. You'll be a super sub, if anything.
Yeah.
And I think that
was the goal, to become a prime contractor,
So I think when you put yourself in position to do it, is definitely like discouraging at times when you're still being faced with adversity. Like, I walked in that test and passed it the first time, both of my GC licenses. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but my dude, he like how you said, he really like sat down and locked in. Like, he made it a purpose. I believe you was still working with Cox while you was doing
I had a
this too.
full-time
So
job,
like, he had a lot of other working parts still going on at the same time as well. So like, I definitely, like I said, commend both of y'all on locking in on that. And y'all out there that's watching, y'all need to go and get licenses and certifications as well, because this is what unlocks the money.
No,
You
for
know what
real.
I'm saying? Like,
Get you in a room.
it puts you in position to make the money.
Just having a license, I think, even if you don't do nothing with it, it's kind of like you now have leverage. You now have opportunity to joint venture with people. You now have opportunity to go to bigger companies and be a minority face if you just go get your minority certifications. You just cut out the middleman, even if you're just doing your own projects. It's just so many ways you can do it. Like, this week alone, I met with the Home Depot CEO. I know the whole Home Depot executive board. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom, that's my dog. And he the president and CEO of Home Depot. He knows Justin Lee, he knows Jam Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like, their whole leadership team, the guys who run the pro accounts, the guys who run online, delivery. Like, I met with all of these people. You know what I mean? And was able to network with them and kind of just give my true opinion about Home Depot, their service, where they're missing at, where they're winning at. And these people really care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hear that feedback.
But if I wasn't like a bona fide GC and actually out here winning, I
A
would've
big
never got
spender.
a big spender.
Literally.
We
you know what I'm
spending
saying?
millions of dollars at Home Depot too.
But the crazy thing was, what got us on their radar wasn't our spin initially. What got us on the radar was Andre, is our commercial manager account because it's pro accounts and a store, then it's a commercial. We're a commercial manager account like through corporate. So we get super good pricing on everything. Shout out Andre, man. He the GOAT.
Right.
So what got us on his radar was he said he would be going from job site to job site looking at different clients that he had around Atlanta, but he kept seeing that blue Jam Lee construction sign everywhere.
Marketing.
He said, man, I had never seen a GC brand as tight and as hard as y'all. Then he said he tracked me down. He tried to get in contact, but you can't find my number.
Hey, we graduated from Morehouse with a marketing degrees,
Yeah.
you know, minors in sales. So of course, you know, we
Do the branding.
got to do the branding.
So he found our office number on one of the signs. He said he couldn't get me, so he just went to the office, went back to one of the signs, and our number's there. And then you click on our phone, and it has all our different businesses, like the brokerage, the event space, the construction, whatever. But he said once he dialed 1 for construction, and then said if you're a phone sale, dial 1. He said, oh, these guys are serious.
Right.
Like they really do this phone sale. Like they love what they do. So
Yeah.
I have to get in front of them. So he ended up coming here to our headquarters and met me and just explained to me like what we're missing out on from Home Depot. Like Home Depot has lines of credit for projects that's not backed by no bank. It's Home Depot giving you the money, saying, okay, this is your contract. How much you think you're gonna spend on material? Cool. Here you go. We're gonna deliver it for free every day. We're gonna give you discounts on it, and you don't pay till it arrives. So like that type of thing is just like different because it's like there are a lot of companies who are investment companies, but they're not bona fide GCs.
Yeah.
So Home Depot is not really going to go to them the same way as they will with us because they know that we're going to be continuous business. We're going to continue to grow with them. We're going to grind with them. And we exposing Home Depot to other people as well because like I treat my projects like, okay, in my mind, I got a 360 to Home Depot. I don't go to Lowe's. I spend all my money at Home Depot. I give them like first right of refusal. Like if I can't get it from them, I'll ask them like, where can we get it from? And surprisingly, they'll connect me like, you know, we don't directly distribute this, but I do know the distributor. Here's the contact. Like we needed some commercial doors for a commercial job and they didn't do it at the time, but now they added it, but they gave me the plug.
Yeah.
So you can respect that. And that just comes from the license. Then another thing, I was in this construction cohort hosted by JP Morgan Chase this week. And that's a 6-month certificate program.
Yep.
That is like the top GCs. They all do at least $5 million a year in the Atlanta area, minorities, where they're going to coach us on how to better partner with the Turners, the J.E. Dunns, the big GCs, how to be primes with them, but also how to position ourselves to go after the same contracts they're going after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the licensing just puts you in the room. It's what you do with it after.
No,
But I tell people, like, you want to get in the room. I need to have a seat at the table. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, outside the room listening to what somebody got to say, like, how can I get to the table? And I realized that through licensing was how I got to the table, real estate, construction, everything. Like,
those certifications.
get the certification. Because
Yeah.
people think it's so hard. I
Yeah.
studied a month. That's it. A
Were
month.
you GC?
For that big GC test, I sat down for a month. All I did was do
He
work
like that
I
because
think-
that thing is 23 books. Like,
a month.
Yeah.
It's more so everybody has the potential, right? And I think a lot of the times people look at, you know, people that have achieved certain things and think that what they've done, it may be impossible for them to do, right? When it's actually in reality very attainable for you to do. All you need to do is lock in with yourself and challenge yourself, because a lot of the times people aren't going that extra step, taking that extra mile. Like I Justin said earlier in the episode, he said he woke up at 5 a.m. this morning and sent out offers, right? It's different things that you have to do for yourself that other people aren't doing. The guy might be smarter than you. He might be better looking than you, better in shape, whatever, right? But if you wake up and you put that extra effort every day and go hard, that's something that they might not be doing. And in turn, you're going to actually get that better result because you're putting forth the effort that they not.
Real talk.
yeah, with me, like, especially this week, I just been like rinsing and repeating, just showing up at these bid meetings for these state and these federal contracts. And some of them I have no intentions of putting a bid in for, but I just show up and then they're asking me, they're like, yeah, so are you going to put in a bid? I'm like, I'll think about it. But me just showing, showing up and hearing like the conversations that they're having. And also I'm like looking at people's body language. Like I'm studying, like I'm undercover with my med glasses and all, undercover.
And go back and watch the footage.
Literally.
Yeah, that's smart.
Literally. And I'm just like, I'm listening to the requirements that they're having. Like what are some of the similar qualifications, especially like the general liability requirements. Like, are they all the same, or in these type of industries they need higher limits and stuff like that? So I'm looking like inside out for sure, because I'm like, once I actually start putting these bits in, oh, I know it's gonna be easy yes. I know it's gonna be easy yes.
I love that for you. And I think really you're doing something that a lot of people don't do. Like, you went where it makes sense. See, Atlanta sounds good, but South Carolina looks good and feels good.
Yeah.
A $20,000 duplex.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a place where you're going to win and you're going to have less competition. It's going to be easier. So we're actually looking at other markets like Alabama and Louisiana. We do work in Louisiana before ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get real aggressive because we have the same commercial license unlimited there.
Yeah.
I'm about to get aggressive this year and going after those private and public
Different
sector
markets.
businesses
Mm-hmm.
in New Orleans because it's less targeted. Atlanta, it's a bowl, and everybody's trying to get to the top.
Yeah.
We've been blessed to have the Morehouse Network, Fraternity Network, and all of our other networks that we're in, and we've been great. But I think that it'll be easier to obtain government contracts in an area that nobody's really targeting.
Not only that, but just to his point, we're looking to scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the whole scalability across this. Like, GMD Construction as a brand, as a corporation, can grow and expand into other markets and other networks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we have the unlimited license in pretty much all the states. You know what I'm saying? So we can go and activate in different markets and, you know, build those relationships, build, you know, offices in different places as well, and start getting into those markets and doing work, right? And I think that goes into our plan that we do have for JMD Construction, as far as like the expansion part. You know, maybe that goes into partnering with KC in South Carolina
I told
and
her that.
opening up a
About to
JMD
partner with
out
her.
there. You know what I'm
ASAP.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and that's the beauty of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, being able to, like, include and also, like, put other people in position to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's been one of, like, the most, like, fulfilling parts of what we do is the fact that we literally feed families. You know what I'm saying? Like, through the work that we do. Like, and I'm very appreciative for that because, like, coming from where we come from in New Orleans, like, a lot of people don't have the opportunities that we're presenting and we're creating. So now we're, like, expanding to our family, and then outside of our family, we also have extended family now. We have people that, you know, work for us that literally feel like family now. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful in that aspect. So I definitely think that's like one of the main things that I appreciate about what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, with our family business.
I think KC get a good point earlier when she said, like, the people you'll be able to employ, the lives you'll be able to impact. So for us, it was big on, like, initially, let's do it for our own projects. Because I didn't like, for one, being real, that when they see a black contractor coming around, they automatically assume you janky. They automatically assume you're going to run off when you get the money. And I didn't like that. And I had that experience myself. At first, we always want to go to our people, but then we realized we really can't go to our people. And that's a problem.
That is a
Right.
problem.
You know what I'm saying? So I said I wanted to be a company that they know we're going to stand on business. We're going to brand ourselves. We're going to do what we got to do to make sure that it's comfortable. And while we did that, I wanted to make sure that we're able to impact our community and hire. So I intentionally made my vision to not go after the already polished project manager, the already polished architect, the already polished engineer. Because I feel like the people that's already polished had the resources that they needed to get polished.
Yeah.
Let's target people that don't have the resource, but have the talent, that have
For
the
sure.
know and the will to do it.
The drive, right?
Exactly. If they are actually given opportunity.
Yep.
So a good bit of our leadership team are former incarcerated, some are convicted felons, but very bright guys that just fell short to circumstances, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is very important to be able to give these guys the opportunity to, you know, obviously, one, know that sometimes people just need the confidence themselves, know that you are powerful enough, you are strong enough to run this type of business. Like, you are able to take something from start to finish and really be in the rooms with the biggest of the biggest. You know what I mean? And they have no idea who you are, what your record says. And I think that that's key because in today's climate, the way that the society has painted the black community and the way that they've penetrated the black community is to make the black man weak.
Our president a felon, so it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. I mean, but his felony looks different than other felonies. Like right now, I'm getting a call. Shout out KT, my brother in jail, calling me right now. You know what I'm saying? But I can't answer him on this podcast. I'm going to call you later, brother. But
He gonna see this. He's supposed to be getting out this year.
He is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, but see, that's how God's speaking to me. I'm getting a call from jail right now. And when he gets out, he going to be on these trucks. I'm telling you. And you will never know. This man just been sat in jail for 5 years. You will never know, though.
Because they all intelligent. But like you said, sometimes people become products of their environment. And I know that's like what people say all the time, like, oh, I'm a product of my environment, whatever. I'm also a product of my environment, right? I came from that too. But it's about changing your environment, changing the people, the places, and the things that you do. That was like one of the main things that helped me go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had my situations going on, changing who I was around, what I was doing, that helped elevate me and move me around from what we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta put yourself in those opportunities to actually go to that next level.
But somebody has to create them.
Somebody
so that's
has to
why
create 'em.
what you're doing and what we're doing is important. Like you have to, like I said, it's hard at times to not go after the polished professional and to take a chance.
Actually, it's not that hard because once you see that bill, I'm like, it doesn't cost that much.
Yeah.
And I just recently told somebody else, I'm like, the difference between me and them is I'm arguing to break even. You're arguing profit. And I'm like, that's the main difference in it all. And because you had me get licensed, when I say so much bigger, like already I'm only 30 days in with my official license and already have 2 people that I'm helping get licensed too. One's going to be a commercial licensed plumber, and another one's going to be a commercial licensed GC. And
That's
then
amazing.
I literally just had a talk with one of my homegirls, and she's looking at getting her GC license, but I told her, I was like, you already got stuff going on. I'm like, get your man to get his GC license over in Alabama. I said, because Jaylee's over, he got Georgia on lock. I said, once I get South Carolina, you get Alabama. I'm like, that's how we really like.
That's how you network.
Exactly.
We got the whole South on lock.
No, literally. And it's honestly, one thing about me is that typically, especially in the beginning, if you wasn't licensed, I didn't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Because one of them, and on top of that, I always ask a really specific question. I'm like, I don't even ask, are you? I say, who is the license holder? Because when I say, are you, they're going to be like, yeah, I am.
Right.
I'm like, no. I ask them, I say, who's on your team as the license holder? Not you. Okay, I need to speak to them. And then I get all their license information.
W-9, insurance information.
Exactly. And I tell them, I'm
workers
like.
comp.
Right.
Run it.
and the ones that are honest that come to me and say, hey, I'm not licensed. I work with a licensed person, but I would love to do your job. I'm more open to do business with them because you came out and you was honest. But then I tell them, I'm like, why aren't you licensed? Because he only has one chance to say, you cannot use my license no more. Now, you ain't got food on your table.
Yep.
And that's really what's
big.
important about these licenses. Is because, you have a good relationship and it's great so that you could build that experience so that you can meet the qualifications. But you talking about you 8 years, you 10 years in deep into this, and you still depend on that man to say yes or no?
So that's a key thing.
That's big.
That's a real thing that happened.
Real.
So in New Orleans, we did like 20 apartments in the last year, like new construction renovations. Mm-hmm. And my HVAC dude, I didn't give up on him. Black dude, shout out Daryl with Jordan HVAC.
Shout out Daryl, man.
So,
work on your marketing and your branding too, man.
Nah, he been doing it though. He been
doing his videos, but you gotta tighten up, get some better quality with it, man.
So Daryl, right, is a phenomenal stand-up dude. Mm-hmm. He had got the permits, applied for them, and we switched like the year in New Orleans. So when the year switched, the licensee expired. But the guy that was licensed was going through a divorce or whatever, so he wasn't really on top of it. His wife did the paperwork, he just did the work. But they got a divorce, so she ain't do the paperwork.
Oh.
So now my permit held up because this dude, right? So
because of some personal foolishness.
So I called Daryl, like, bro, I gave you some bread. Like, at this point, this is a sixplex that we doing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you holding me up. I got payments every month I got to pay. Like, I don't want to just give you the boot, bro. Like, I want to look out for you. I know that you grinding. He was very diligent in his communication, but I realized he had a roadblock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then I found a licensee number and called him myself and was like, yo, bro, like, this man is really about to lose a blessing, and I'm going to change this dude's life. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
he's depending on you. You got to go get this together. So the dude ended up apologizing and standing on it and getting it done. And at the same time, I told Darryl, I said, look, bro, we're going to buy another 15 units this year. I don't want to go through middleman and have to have this liability. Go get
that
your license, bro.
Literally.
And that man went and got it.
Yep, he walked it down.
He walked it down. So I'm proud of him. Shout out
Shout
Darryl,
out
man.
Darryl,
That's
man.
good stuff, dog.
No, that's great.
But
I
it just
love
took
hearing
that
stories.
motivation. Like, nobody really pressed him like me. Like, I'm pressing you to give you my money. Because I want to shot with you. I don't want to shot with the Mexican. I don't want to shot with the white man. I want to shot with you.
And that's the exact talk I'm having right now with my plumber. Because I'm like, listen, I'm like, you know, me and your supervisor, we're going back and forth, you know, whatever scenario is. But I'm like, honestly, I could easily have this conversation with you, and you did 80% of this plumbing work anyway, but you're only getting probably 10% of what I actually paid them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what I paid them. And I'm like, that could have been money in your pocket because plumbing materials cheap. Like,
Yeah.
I told him, it's like, you're missing on thousands just because you don't have a license. He's like, you don't have a license. But I looked at it, I said, first of all, that's a certification. I said, you cannot pull your own permit. That's going to be the tall tale difference. Is, yeah, you understand what you're doing. I know you know what you're doing because you just did it. You just showed me. And you passed inspection the first time. I was like, but understand, if you can't pull your own permit, you don't have a ticket. You don't. It don't mean anything.
That's the hard part. And what I did realize, too, is that there's a shortage in minority MEP licensees.
Yep.
So I've been hearing
believe
that
it.
constantly. So now that's on my radar. And I'm telling y'all now, go get your mechanical, electrical, or plumbing license. Typically, mechanical and plumbing, you can get them at the same time. They're like pretty similar. So that's on my radar this year. I'm going to deploy somebody from my company to go get these 3 licenses. Like, I'm going to look at the research, see, you know, what it is. And I'm going to pay somebody to sit down for a month. Like, hey, you get off the truck, you sit in the office, and you're going to study for this test.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to call.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been thinking about going to grab the plumber's license. I've been doing a lot of research on like the plumbing trade, and
It's really
honestly,
not that hard.
It's not that hard.
It's so simple.
Because, and then I already have the experience because I've been doing this for over a decade now, right? Like, we've done all type of projects. We've done residential, commercial. We've done from the ground up. We've done, you know, the inside renovation. Like, I've literally seen the process from start to finish. It's really not that hard.
It's
John.
not that
You know
hard.
what I'm saying? We talking about you tap it in from the street where the city run their line, and you bring it to wherever you going. So that's the
hard part.
either the
underground.
house
Yeah.
or, you know, the commercial project, right? You know, you got to make sure it's vented properly. You got to make sure that, you know, everything is draining properly. You know, that's it's very important. You know what I'm saying? And when you really think about like the intricacies of the world and like the civil engineering and stuff, it's really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like how
Real
we're
time.
able to go to a restaurant and flush the toilet and
And know
wash
how
our
it
hands. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
how it's getting out.
you're
Yeah.
right.
That's the thing.
Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about
Everywhere I go, I do.
Well, of course
I
we
do.
do.
Too.
We
I
like
do
we
too.
wired
I
differently.
see numbers all the time. Anytime I go anywhere, I'm like, yeah, that building costs X, Y, and Z. Finishes probably.
That's
costs
how I
about
look
this.
at
ain't gonna
everything.
lie.
I'm like, somebody making money off of everything. Like,
How we look at things as part of the business, like in construction, everything is construction. Everything has been built by somebody.
Somebody.
Cars, houses,
Yep.
buildings, banks. It's good and bad. Bad, I was ziplining in Costa Rica, and I'm looking at how they assembled the zipline platform. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
This is a hazard.
what? This is not in code. Like, all I see is code.
Yeah.
But it also is beautiful too, because when I'm in Tulum, I'm looking at the developments. I'm in Dubai looking at how they're building it, and I'm like, wow,
The
like
materials they use.
I'm getting ideas.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mexico got some really good materials, like the type of like.
Man, I designed my whole bathroom based on how Mexico is. I got tile on my ceiling. Nobody got tile on their ceiling.
oh yeah, no, they don't.
You see what I'm saying? I have tile on my ceiling, on all of my walls, waterfall, curbless showers. Like in America, we don't have that sauce as much.
No.
But I
So
steal it from
basic.
there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No,
and
I
they
went to Haiti.
concepts.
Yeah, I went to Haiti last year around this time. Best country in the world.
Really?
I'm a little biased. My family's from Haiti.
okay.
And so, but one thing I love, and that's honestly the best country I've been to, just because any other country I've been to, they would give you the American experience just in another country. I'm like, if I want to be in America, I stay in America. But in Haiti, you eat their food, you speak their language, you follow their days of the week and everything else like that. Like, you're in their country, in their territory. And that's one thing I respect the most, because now I'm living like a local and I don't speak the language. Of course, when I was there, I had to understand it more. And I started to pick up a little bit more. You ask me now, I'm like,
You like,
no,
what?
probably Creole. But one thing I really admired is that I'm telling you, like, the food is great. It's so good. And the type of like people you meet and the type of the materials that, because they really make a lot of materials and ship them off, and export and stuff like that. And I'm like, what I really would love to do is streamline that, like get the material straight from Haiti, have it in like new construction and everything else like that. Make sure that they have a full team over there. Get over here. I'm thinking big like that in that standpoint. Have a whole factory over in Haiti.
That's crazy that you mentioned that, because actually, like the other day, one of our pro fights, Isaac Taggart, who's on like a Liberian board. He's real big in Liberia, and they are actually doing like some development and infrastructure in Liberia, and they trying to partner with people in America to come and bridge the gap to help with, investing and building the infrastructures out there. And we're probably gonna end up going out there. It's around Justin's birthday. So we looking forward to that too. You know what I'm saying?
June 25th.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's gonna be dope. Like, I'm looking forward to that, bro.
Yeah, you gotta just expand. So I want to dive back into this block, because that's what people need to hear, right? Like, we got caught up, we let them know what we do, but let's get into them gems and give them that sauce in that game. So you bought a block. You casually said that. Like, break us down the numbers. Like, what made you buy this block? How did you find the block? How did you pay for the block? Like, give us the sauce.
I was naive into this. That's why, like, now as a coach, when I tell people certain stuff, I'm like, I'm telling you this because I did it, and I wouldn't do it again. I was honestly blessed in my situation. Like, God literally had his hand on me, because just like how I'm going to these different bid meetings and just seeing how it is and just scoping the scene, I did the same thing with these steed auctions here in Georgia. And so I'm going to Cobb County. Oh shoot, their price is way too high. I'm going to Fulton. Oh nah, let me go all the way to Clayton. Like, I'm going to different counties and trying to figure out where's my happy medium, especially when starting out, because the capital wasn't high starting.
That's real.
And so
that's smart too.
Yeah. So I don't know. One of my line sisters is down in Macon. So then I went down there. And I went to the different auctions just in that area, that Middle Georgia area. And then I went to one. I had no interest at all of buying anything. At that point, I had some cash in my pocket. So I was just like, But I was just like...
You had money in your pocket and it was burning it. You was ready to spend it.
No, I actually... I was definitely looking for an opportunity, but I was checking to see what's the prices going for or what's the bid stopping at, because then I would go back to that auction another day.
To know how it would go.
Right. And then that's when I went, and it was like multiple lots on that street were being auctioned off. And I was like, okay, like I didn't think nothing of it. I did my research on it, see, what type of, is it a lot? Is there a property on it? Like, I did a little research, but I didn't like drive by or anything like that. So really surface level research on it. And he just like, yeah, we're going to bid this off. He's like, starting bid $2,500, blah, blah, blah. And nobody stepped up. I looked at my paper. I was like, that's a duplex. Ain't nobody stepping up. I kid you not, this man right before, he said, don't buy anything on that street. Everything's all messed up. Don't buy anything on that street.
But if you buy the whole street and you fix the street, then...
Nobody thinks like that. And so, but I kid you not, him saying that was actually God. Because everybody...
They didn't buy it.
They didn't buy anything. I said, oh, I don't care what it looks like. $2,500, I'll take it. I don't care what it looks like. And so I stepped up. He was like, okay, you got it for $2,500. So I go to the front, give my information, and that's when
the next auction start.
I'm giving him my information in real time. He turns to me. He's just like, yeah, you want to put a bid on this one? I said, what's the bid right now? He said $4,000. I said, sure, I'll buy it. And he's like, cool, you won. I said, oh shoot. I said, hold on.
So you bought both of them next door.
Yeah. So yeah, they were next door. And I was like, all right, in 6,500 single family house for 4,000, duplex for 2,500.
2,500.
Perfect.
Yeah. You all in 6,000.
And then so I was like, okay, cool. Like I was like, I ain't gonna splurge too much, because I'm like, this is technically my first big investment. So I'm like, let me slow my roll. But then I saw the next auction that there was a piece of land across the street that was a bigger piece of land.
Did you go to the property at this point?
I drove over there, but I was just
You
like,
a month later, you ain't
still
gonna
ain't gonna look at this house?
And you bought it?
You bought the block and you still ain't pull up on it?
The auction. Chill out. I'm talking about right after the auction. That's when I drove past. I was like, okay, all right. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
What we do?
It was there was like tires in the front. There was trees all over,
perfect.
stretching over. Yeah.
Those are the ones we love.
No,
We
seriously.
love those.
Seriously, but it was all about just trying to find that vision. And I went back to the next auction, I think that next month, and then they was having the land across the street was being sold. So I went, and of course now I'm like, I'm really trying to get this. Like, I know I'm buying something. And the guy next to me was just bidding against me. He didn't want it. He just bidding against me. I looked at him.
He's just raising the price up on you?
I looked at him. I said, I don't know why you been on this because you don't want it. And that's when he stopped. I said, dang, I should sit there earlier. So the bid
rang
stopped
up
at
another 10 bands or something, huh?
No, 7. It was 7. So
Sheesh.
I'm really all in at 13,500.
For a half a block.
Yeah.
That's
Because they
not
were
bad.
they were right next to each other. and then-
13,500 for a single family, a duplex, and a big lot.
Mhm. Yeah. And so I sat in for a while because I was just like, I wanted to be super intentional. I was just like, when I actually start, I want this as smooth as possible. And that's when I got lazy. That's when all this other stuff happened. Because really, I just didn't know. I'm coming in as like the investor. I'm like, I got the funding for it. I got all this, in place. I just need y'all to execute. And just me just being naive, I'm just didn't think anything bad could ever happen.
That's real life.
And then bad things happen. But one thing about it I learned, and I think that's what makes me a good teacher, is because I actually had tons of mistakes. And I spent so much money. And I
So this is why you took your $250,000 loss?
that and some other projects too.
Okay.
But it was honestly, it was one house that really took majority of losses, and then it was just like other projects that I was doing.
But
It just
that block
was-
probably paid for all of them losses, right?
Once everything is done, yeah.
Yeah.
Because after I got to a certain point, I said, you know what, I'm gonna put this on hold because the taxes were super low anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I could just maintain. It's not a rush for me to do it right now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm taking my time on it, especially now that I'm in South Carolina. I'm kind of like, it's low priority, but we already have things like working because back in 2019, I started my nonprofit back in college. And what we did was we serviced students, single parents, and the homeless population, particularly giving out food and clothes. Like, I think we fed over 1,000 people that first year.
That's lit.
Clothed over 100. And this was just off the strength of me and maybe a little bit of crowdfunding. Like, maybe going to Publix, they gave me a little partnership deal, like just small stuff like that. And know that we did like 1,000. But then when COVID hit, Atlanta really started pushing all of them out. Like, because especially with the World Cup coming soon and all this other stuff, Atlanta's about to change drastically. But even then, I really just sat down and I was just like, honestly, me feeding them doesn't change their situation. They're going to be hungry in 3 hours. Like, they still don't have a job. They still probably not connected with their family. There's like all these other stuff that a lot of people don't consider, even though what they're doing is great, but it's a temporary fix.
Yeah.
And so that's when I really sat down. And I was just
It's
like,
needed though.
It is
Definitely needed.
It's needed for sure. I don't take that away. But there's a bigger picture to it all. And that's when I really sat down and I was just like, all right, I don't want no homeless shelter. I don't. I said, because the homeless shelter, I'm like, honestly, they get complacent. It's just government money just being thrown out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to aid somebody in whatever dysfunction they're going on. That's not my MO. And so I was like, all right, but we need more of a transitional housing. Like, get them in, get them out. Because my thought process is the men are the leaders of the family. Like, you guys are really important. But once you guys get on your feet, then the whole family follows. So now we're talking about generations down the line just because one person got on their feet. So at that point, I took it as a standpoint, like, I need transitional housing mainly for men. And back around that time, I actually worked for a homeless shelter, and I made really great connections with the guys over there, and I'm still in contact with them now. And the whole goal is to really turn it into not really just to put something in my pocket, but to really turn to that transitional housing mainly for prison reform, because those guys are hungry and they're ready to work. They just need a little help, honestly. And honestly, once you give them a certain level of structure, they got the rest. They grown,
Yeah.
They just need a little bit of help. They got the rest. And that's mainly why I'm like putting a pause on it. Because once we get certain partnerships in place, then that's literally what it's going to be redirected for. So it's way bigger than that.
That's dope. I think that's like part of my goals too. Like, is to get in with. There's a thing called We Build. So it's like for disadvantaged youth, like juveniles that have been in the system
Yeah.
that are now looking to get into trade schools and stuff. Working with them to ultimately employ them and get them into the workforce. I think that if you teach a guy a skill, they'll always make money. And construction is something that's never gonna go anywhere.
Ever. AI is not taking a job ever.
There's no way. It's nothing that even robot, like it's nothing you can do to stop somebody that has a skill to be able to make money. So I think that I always laugh in saying it, but I'm like, you know, if you go to any Home Depot, you have a parking lot full of guys. But we always say if the guy's still at 9 a.m., he ain't good.
Right.
So that means two things to the audience, right? The early bird truly gets the worm, right? And sometimes, once again, it goes back to what we said, put yourself in the space, put yourself in the rooms to see. So if I'm a guy who wants to learn a trade, I'm going to be out there early in the morning watching who's getting picked up every morning. I'm going to tell them, hey, man, your day rate is $250. Everybody else want $200, $220. Give me $50 and I'll be your helper. See what I'm saying?
Literally.
That's what I would do. If you don't know, if nobody out here understands anything, you got nothing doing, you sitting at home, go to Home Depot, bruh. Be there at 7 o'clock in the morning and just watch and see what guys getting picked up. And go to them and tell them, hey, I'll be your laborer. Because most of the time, they just need somebody to pick material up, move it, carry the heavy stuff, cut the stuff, measure the stuff. That's how you learn. You learn in the field. So if I need to get some money, I'm going to go figure out how to learn. That's a real gem. If you're at home with nothing to do, you high school or whatever it is, go sit in the Home Depot Lowe's parking lot and get with the guy that's getting picked up, because those are the people who are going to continue to eat. And truthfully, like earlier in our business, and even still sometimes now, like the guys who do the work make more money than us at times because we have to pay them. They're a necessity. Without them, there's no me.
Literally.
You get what I'm saying?
These trades get paid. Like, you know, in our Discord, we go through different numbers and stuff like that when we talk about our developments and stuff. So y'all can see how much we actually paying these electricians, how much we actually paying these plumbers, how much we actually paying the HVAC guys, right? You see these different line items. Y'all might think a plumber, just because he getting dirty, right? He's getting bread too. He's getting money.
No, seriously. In 3 days, I paid a plumber for 3 days worth of work. I paid this man 10 grand.
Yeah.
3 days.
That's
See,
light
most
too.
a help like a laborer today is getting 200 at least, a good laborer a day. When you do that time, that's $1,000 a week. And they
Easy.
getting cash. They're not getting no taxes. So you're telling me a guy that did not go to school is getting $4,000 a month, that's $48,000 a year. That's equivalent to me who went to college, worked corporate, making $70K a year. I was only taking home 35, 37.
Yep.
So you mean to tell me that he makes more, does less, his potential to rise, because it's easy to go a sub or laborer to go from 200 to 250 if they're really good.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose them. Whereas me going corporate, for me to see that difference of an extra $50 a week, which is another $250, $50 a day, which is another $250 a week, which is another $1,000 a month.
Yep.
I gotta go from 70K to like 90K.
It's really $1,250 a week.
You see what I'm saying? Which is unrealistic. It's unreal at times. So I always tell people, like, you don't want to judge based on what you think, because you don't know really what it is. So a lot of these guys are really cashing out every week. So I always push people to get into construction, get into a labor, learn a skill, because it helps. And it goes back to my point earlier, like the way that the black family has been manipulated is because they removed the black man.
Yeah.
The black man is in jail. He now can't provide. If the black man isn't uneducated, what can he teach? So if you can find a way to bridge that gap and give him a skill, it kind of goes forever. Like they say, you can teach a man to fish or you can feed him. You teach him how to fish, he's going to fish forever.
Yeah.
You feed him today, like you said, they're going to be hungry in 3 hours. Then what? So that's really the thought of it. So I really am a big advocate for that. I'm pushing you, like, we both can work and brainstorm on how to really bridge that gap further. Like I said, we went internally and started reaching back to our community in New Orleans and the people in our area here to hire. So we try to hire from within first. Like, we look in our circle and see who could use some help, who could really take benefit from this, who's not really steering in the right direction, and we could put them on the path.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you guys just put somebody in the path, like, you're going to do construction.
Yep. Present.
You're
that
going to do
opportunity.
marketing. You're going to do video.
Because you could see what they can't see. And you're like, you like this, but you're really good at this, actually.
Exactly. and we help each other, you know? So that's big. I think you're going to do amazing. I'm super, super excited because you have that drive. You got that oomph in you that you need to really win and grow. I just want to tell you, like, with this, it's a high benefit industry, but it's a high risk.
Yeah.
So
it's
always
definitely high
manage
risk.
your risk. You know what I mean? Like, if you get into this space, you have to really understand that a lot of people are going to come to you because you have something that everybody wants.
That's funny. I don't tell them.
Yeah.
When I'm on a project,
Yeah.
they don't know if I'm the owner. They don't know if I'm the project manager. They don't know if I'm the GC. They don't know nothing. I come in there and I'm like, hey, I'm Casey. I'm the project manager over the site. And you would know if I'm actually the real GC over it or if I'm actually the project manager. You don't know if I actually own the company that's doing this
That's
project. You don't
powerful,
know
too.
anything.
That's powerful.
That's smart.
Very powerful.
I keep it that way too. I mean, even now it's on camera, right? But it doesn't matter what side I'm at. You're still not gonna know my full position ever, because one, I actually want to see what kind of work you're doing when you do it.
Yep.
And then my thing is, if I come and say, oh, I'm the GC or I'm the owner, da da da, then you're gonna hide a lot of stuff, and there could be something I really could help you on, but I'm not gonna know because you're gonna be scared to make a mistake. So it kind of goes like double fold. Like, I really need to see what's truly going on, and I can't if I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm the GC and I'm doing
Right.
neck rolling your fingers, everything. No, like, nobody responds well to that. And
No.
you know, I think one time you asked me, you're like, no, actually you didn't ask me. Somebody else asked me. He's actually an investor in South Carolina. He's like, yeah, with you being like a female in this field, like how is it like? And I told him, I was like, actually, it's smooth.
Have you dealt with any like adversities or anything with being a female general contractor?
Well, one, because I had to humble myself and say, I'm not the GC, I'm the project manager. That's for one. Because I think when people get caught up in these licensing titles, they start acting weird and start really being more aggressive, unnecessary. And I think a lot of times when women come into these contracting or these male-dominant roles, that they take on a actual masculine trait. I don't have to do that, and I still get my way.
Do you feel like you have to like overcompensate with knowing exactly the correct things because you're a woman?
No, because I don't come in acting like I know everything. Honestly, I go and act like I don't know it, and I ask them to explain it to me so I can see what they know.
Facts.
So me knowing everything doesn't help you at all.
Right.
Like, if anything, it could be real life. Like, they might think like I'm playing them. Like, I think that they don't know what they're doing. But actually just trusting that, hey, you're the professional, letting you be the professional. But hey, yeah, so what's this? And, you know, what's the material for? And how many do you think you need? You think these could be how many days? And in my head, I already have these numbers are prepared. I'm just seeing if what you're about to say aligns with what I say. And then now I'm like, you really don't think this would be so-and-so? Because on this last project, we actually did it in blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because now they're changing their answers and stuff like that. But you won't know if you just come in all, you know, you're the boss and everything else like that. People don't accept that well.
How do you assert yourself in those situations? Like, how do you assert yourself and build that credibility as a woman in a male-dominated field?
Honestly, like, you know, honey catches more flies than vinegar type of thing. And especially with men, you guys honestly have a soft spot. Any man has a soft spot for a lady.
Yeah, you can finesse. It's like, you're a woman.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, and it's not even just finesse. It's just coming to them as a person and not like you're the boss. Men don't do well when women tell them what to do and how to do stuff. And just in general, it don't matter who you are. You could be the nicest dude in the world. But people in general, women or men, they don't like that. They don't like the micromanaging. Nobody likes that.
What about client-facing, though?
Client-facing?
Yeah, because we've been talking a lot about more so like, I guess, like the subs within, you know? What about client-facing? How does it, you know, affect that side of it?
I mean, honestly, it doesn't, because most of the time, especially when talking to the client or maybe like the owner of that department where I'm about to do work for, I mean, I'm talking with them directly, and I kind of already set the standard to where they trust me. So anybody who comes behind me, they're cool.
So I think I want to get into, like, if you can give yourself advice at 18, what would it be?
Ooh, at 18, you know, 18 I was homeless. So
Really?
yeah.
How did that happen?
That happened, honestly speaking, you know, you think you've grown, you know it all. And I took a lot of stuff for granted. And especially, like, you know, everybody have their different adversities they have growing up. Mine was who was influencing me. And even if this person was a family member or a parent, It negatively affected my relationship with my mother at that moment in time. And so she's like, you 18, think you bad? Okay, let me
Go
see how
get it.
bad you really are.
Right.
And so, in her defense, she thought that I already had a situation already set up. But in actuality, my pride was not about to tell her I didn't have a situation set up and that I'm just going to have to tough it out myself. And that's exactly what happened. But I was smart and I had a full academic scholarship to Georgia State. And so I toughed it out for the summer. I wasn't cold and everything else. And God sends people and things just aligned. And honestly, I was able to start school, took out student loans to stay on campus, and that was that. So me looking back at 18-year-old me, that's a great question because I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of stuff I would tell myself. One, humble yourself, but mainly too is like the relationships that you make or break is going to determine what's your next step.
Don't be burning them bridges. Yeah,
That's
not
a
at all.
major gem because a lot of people burn bridges and not think that you might have to cross this bridge again.
yeah.
Literally.
I don't burn no bridges. I'll pay
know.
before I burn the bridge.
And honestly, and even if it was like a tough situation where y'all have to separate, that doesn't mean that y'all have to separate on like a bad term.
Bad terms, yeah.
You could be like, hey, like we're gonna agree to disagree on this one, but moving forward, we're just gonna go another route.
That's
like
big.
it's really as simple as that.
Real talk.
Real.
So if you could go back and change any one thing in your investment career, what would you change?
Getting a coach. Oh, I would have before.
Getting a coach that actually has experience.
Yes.
Doing, right.
No, for sure. Especially, investing side is different from the construction side. We talked about it yesterday. As an investor, people don't realize like you get paid last as an investor, but as a contractor, you get paid first.
Yeah.
And so with me fully getting into the
That's definitely true.
construction side, especially with my own license now, getting a coach, getting someone who's already been through it and really leaning on their experience, because I tell my own mentees who's wanting to get into, house flipping and things like that, I tell them experience is expensive.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay one of three ways, with your time, your money, or even both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, unfortunately, me starting out, I had to pay with both.
Yeah.
But moving forward now, especially when construction is such a big industry, I learned from my lesson. I'm definitely not doing that again.
So what is your goal for this year? Because it's 2025, it's still January, so everybody goes into the year like with these big goals.
Big
And you know
goals,
me,
yeah.
I'm gonna hold you accountable, so I need to know. I need tangible, measurable
Ooh,
goals.
if
How many-
David
how
Shays
many
come around the
millions
corner, I
you
feel like
wanna
I'm
do
on the
this year?
hot seat.
How many millions you want to do this year as a GC?
Millies. I'm pretty
You wanna do one?
conservative. I really want to do 3.
It's
Really,
conservative.
really conservative, especially like on the construction side.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's people think that investing and construction, same thing, they go hand in hand, but these are totally different industries. And when walking into the industries, when you talk about takeoffs, you're talking about making sure you're having like little to no waste when it comes to materials. Make sure your estimating is on point, making sure you know where everybody is and how you paying them out, and make sure you have systems in place. It's a whole new field.
Yep.
Granted, I understand it, but actually executing it and make sure I execute it with little mistakes as possible, that's going to be really key for me, and that's going to be make or break in all this.
That's big.
Yeah, I think you have to definitely put yourself in position to win. You know what I mean? And everybody around me says that I'm very frugal, or sometimes they like to use the word cheap. I don't like to use the word cheap.
I be like, man, my dude not cheap. He like to be, spend affordably.
I used to call my dad. I was just like, because as a kid, you can't call parents like liars or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I thought the same thing when it comes to calling adult cheap. So I used to be like, no, my dad, he's just eco-friendly.
Yeah, I love that. That's me. Because at the end of the day, pennies turn to dollars turn to tens turn to hundreds turn to thousands. If you can't manage $1, you can't manage 100,000. It just gets worse. The more money you have, the more risk, the more expense you take. So for me, it's like as we continue to grow and obtain more money, I'm still looking to cut expense. Because people think, you make more money, so your expenses go up. That's ignorant. They want you to think that the more money you make, the more expense you have. Why? You see what I'm saying? Most people that's rich drive Toyotas. Bill Gates got an old Toyota.
You see my Honda in the back.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to spend no money if I don't have to. And when I do spend money, I want to spend it on experience. I want to spend it on memories. I don't want to spend it on material.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or something that's going to make me money.
Yep.
So it's like anytime I spend money or I know I want to buy something, I'm gonna go find something to pay me to get it.
Yep.
So,
hey, just like
That's the
last
way.
night, I would say this too. While I was in Magic City,
Oh Lord.
I don't agree.
Oh Lord.
before
Whatever you
look,
about to say,
wait,
I don't agree.
Look, before I spent money, I loaded up my Robinhood account.
That don't.
So I was like, okay, bet. My Robinhood account loaded up. Let me have some fun.
He said
Down below,
moderation.
Paquito.
He said work-life
Down below,
balance.
it's me, oh.
he missed the one, the
Yeah,
key
yeah.
step. He didn't make no money on Robin. He loaded it up.
Oh, but I know I'm gonna. I ain't gotta worry about that.
So
you
that's
know?
what me and him
Shout out to
different.
the Honey Drip Network, man. You know what
I
time
don't
it is.
count my money before I have.
You know
it.
what time it is.
I
It's
don't count
good.
no check till
That
it's
was
in
just
my
a little
pocket.
lanyard. That was just a little lanyard,
No.
man. I had a little lanyard.
People do not do that. Listen, count your money when it's in your pocket. When I can see
wasn't
the
counting
money,
my bread.
I feel the money.
I
But
wasn't
don't
counting that. I
spend
just
money
want you to
thinking
know,
that
look.
certain money gonna come.
No, look,
Yeah.
it's good. I just want you to know. That's something that was one of my memories and my experiences that I wanted to do. I wanted to throw money on the Puerto Rican princess. See what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
what I wanted to do, Playboy.
Right.
So that's what I
He is
did.
hilarious.
You hear me?
Everybody
That's what
different.
I did.
He wanted to spend his
I was
money
the
on
first
that.
one in Magic City last night. So, and I'm gonna put the B-roll on this clip. You hear me? Stop playing.
Yeah. Me,
But,
I'd rather
hey.
spend my money soaking in a little boat.
Meanwhile,
with the man
he was gone
blind.
for a month
Ah.
in 2 different continents,
Yeah,
and I
he was
had,
going crazy.
I had to, I literally had to. I was about to turn your card off while you playing. I was about to turn your
I
card
went
off
crazy.
because he was in Dubai. They spent $10,000 on bottles, and neither him or Ari, they don't even drink.
We don't drink.
So they
You know what? I was thinking
in
about
the club
that earlier.
having bottle wars with the
Dubai
consulates
peoples,
in Dubai. Like
They
going,
make it aggressive out there. They put your name on the screen. Like, Jay Lee and Aristotle pop a bottle.
Yeah,
Then
like-
we go back and forth. Big Bang take Lil Bang.
Right.
Then we gotta say we got more money than all you niggas.
Right.
But out there, we don't have
Right.
more money. Boy, they got real money. You hear me? Everybody got G-Wagon,
Yeah.
Rolls. Like, you're like, oh, shit.
But that's to your point. It's like the experiences, the memories. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we spend our bread on. Like I don't necessarily like to do all that. Like we could go buy Ferraris, we could go buy Lamborghini trucks and all that kind of stuff. But it's like right now we more focused on building our family trust. We building our legacy.
Yeah.
We building our brands. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's more important to us. Like all of that stuff gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Like our mentor Cliff, he said it all the time. He was like, y'all young and popping it right now. So it's like y'all get all of this stuff right now. What y'all gonna do when y'all my age? You know what I'm
Literally.
saying? So it's like
That's the key.
it's getting it's levels to it always. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to ride around in lamb trucks. I want to ride around on a yacht. It's different. So what's some advice that you would give to a young lady that's looking to become a GC or become an investor, jump into this construction field?
I would definitely tell her that your license is your ticket, and if you don't have one, you're just a plus one. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not on the list, you're not coming in, and that's what it comes down to.
That's real.
That's sauce. Because like you told that man, you always gonna need somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in it's you pull up, it's like, okay,
It's
It's
good.
me.
Stamp it.
you feel me?
Yeah, they can't
So-
take it away.
How do they get in contact with you? Talk a little about your coaching too, because I know it's different. Like I'm getting into this coaching space. She's my mentor in this coaching space. I don't
And
know
he's our
nothing
mentor
about
in the
it.
construction space.
You feel me? That's what it's about, though.
Yeah.
So tell them about your coaching. Like, what do you offer? Who's best fit for your mentorship?
Mm-hmm.
And just how does it work?
Now, typically, I would love to say, oh, my coaching is for everybody, anybody. But the way I coach, like I was a real coach, like basketball coach, and I coached girls, and I didn't play with them. They were my kids in real life. And I just know I'm not a coach for everybody, and I don't want to be a coach for everybody.
Yeah.
But typically, those who I see, the ones I sit with versus the ones that actually take action, they are typically 35 plus. So those who work corporate, those who are usually busy parents, and who actually really want to leave a legacy for their child. Because crazy thing, at the age of 19, 20, I really figured out what it means to build a legacy, and it's literally your family name you're creating or destroying each and every day.
Facts.
So those who actually want to create their family name, they're the ones who do really well in my program. I literally just have a mother and son duo. They about to go crazy. I'm
lit.
excited for them.
Yeah.
They're about to go crazy. But it's a year-long mentorship. We meet one-on-one, so it's not like, oh, I give you all these courses and everything else like that, and you figure it out yourself. No, you get me in real time, and you do. Don't get me wrong, you do get the courses because I can only be just so much to you, right?
Right.
And there's people that's like me, that's like, I want to put in extra hours. I'm sorry, I go to bed at 8. I can't put in extra hours with you, you know.
Yeah.
But I do give them access to the courses and information so that they could study, because real estate's a language.
Yeah, it
Construction
is.
is a language, and I'm glad to say I have become a really I wouldn't say an expert, but I definitely have become very fluent in it.
You got to know how
But-
to speak the language. Those esoteric terms are very important. Knowing
Exactly.
how to maneuver through.
Exactly, because I don't know why people still don't know that a residential building is 4 units or less. I'm like, so they think residential is just a single family. I'm like,
No. They need to know that though, because the insurance.
I'm like, we
everything
still don't know
changed.
that yet. It's 2025. What? But yeah, so those who are willing to actually want to actually learn it, those typically those demographic 35 plus men and women, corporate jobs, busy parents who actually want to create their family name and continuing on. Those are usually my top.
Tell the people your Instagram and where they can find your coaching and mentorship at.
Yes, so you go legactiesbuiltathome.com. You can also find me on Instagram at legactiesbuiltathome, and then
I love that branding.
YouTube, KC Invest.
That's lit. That's lit. We definitely appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a flight coming up very soon. So
Busy
I'm
lady,
already
man.
knowing.
She too buying blocks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to take time from you.
No, I appreciate y'all for having me.
definitely, and anything that we can do to help you continue on your journey, your path, definitely know the Property Bros are here, and we are 100% in support of it. We definitely love seeing the Black women in construction. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, anything we could do, we definitely here for you. You know what I'm saying? Jay Lee, appreciate you for taking your time out of your busy schedule, brother. You know what I'm saying? And putting this together. Like, as always, you already know, it's your boy HD, and we are signing off for this week's episode. Y'all make sure y'all check in. Always, we got our Discord where we doing a bunch of free game. Y'all just tap in. Like, I don't even have to say it at this point. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy HD. I'll see y'all next time. Let's go.
For sure.